yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, WendyY Bailey.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday to you. I'm so glad to be here today. We ran into a couple of technical glitches, but we are here, and I'm really grateful that you have decided to take this time to either watch us live or watch us on the replay. As a reminder that we are in Women's History Month, so if you've missed the episodes for March, let me invite you to go back to those episodes that featured the first ever episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show, where I was interviewed by a guest host to talk about how I created Profitable Coaching Conversations and the show and everything. And go back and also watch, there's one with Roshonda Pratt, who's talking about live streaming and visibility related to that. And then the one from this past Tuesday was with Chanel Evans, who talks about social media and how you can leverage it to dominate in your industry and in the marketplace. And so today we're going to continue this whole Women's History Month thing. You're going to begin seeing, after today, you're going to see episodes that are previously aired that from some of my awesome women that I've interviewed over the course of the 4 years of the show. It's exciting for me because I get to acknowledge people like Roshonda Pratt, visibility strategist. I get to honor people like Chanel Evans, who's a social media domination strategist. That's what I'll call her. She's a maven for sure. I get to honor people like Jenny Wright and Allison Lex, who are organic lead generation experts. I get to honor Ty Goodwin, who is a quiz master. So she teaches people how to scale their businesses using quizzes. You also get to, I also get to highlight people like Laura E. West, who is a lipsology. And yes, she did read my lip prints. Those are lip prints. And she told me things about myself that were reflected in my lips. So there's a lot of fun stuff. These are the honorees for 2024 Women's History Month. And I really do want you to check them out. If you miss them on Tuesday or Thursday, because I'm going to be taking a break for a minute, but if you miss them on Tuesday or Thursday, then you can always go back and catch them on the E360 TV app under the Diamond Factor Network. So be sure that you are checking out these shows that have aired. You're checking out the ones that are going to air. And again, if you miss anything, you can always go back to the channel E360 TV. It's an app that you can download on your phone. You can also go to e360tv.com and you'll see them there if you want to watch them from your laptop or your computer. And it's just a really great opportunity for you to partake of some of these awesome women that I've had the great opportunity to interview. And so today I wanted to talk a lot about my body of work. Like I've mentioned it before, today I'm going to dig a little bit deeper so you understand more about what I can do, how I serve as a coach, my clients, and what we work on when we're coaching, either one-on-one or in groups. The Income Acceleration Roadmap is really my body of work. It's really my body of work. So thank you so much. Yeah, the Income Acceleration Roadmap features 7 different areas that I support my clients in. And I'll just share the screen with you here, but when we come back from our break, I'm going to dig into them even more. The first silo is the I charge for that mindset. The second is the ideal client clarity and the power of one. I'll explain what that means. The third is business operations. What are processes, systems, and how do you automate them to streamline your operations? The fourth one is predictable coaching income. So it's looking at prices, incentives, bonuses, and looking at the calendar so that you can create predictability in your income. Marketing messaging is key to that as well. That's about visibility. Income producing activities are all about productivity, because productivity really creates sustainability in your business. And then profitable selling secrets are things that you do to orchestrate the sale and conversion in your business. So that's a high level. In just a few minutes, when we come back, you're going to hear me break each one of these silos down so that you understand what that really looks like. So we'll be right back.
Hey folks, Simon T. Bailey. Have you lost your spark? Is a job just a job? Is a relationship just a relationship? Is a business just a business? Well, I've taken the last couple of years to do some deep diving questions and asking myself, did I ever lose my spark? Yeah, I have. And when I lost my spark, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to quit. But I decided that, guess what? When you find your spark, you find your joy. And when you find your joy, you find your people. And when you find your people, you find your voice. So when you find your voice, you connect with people who get you, you tap into your joy, and you become the spark for everyone around you. So I put together this book, Be the Spark. I'm so happy to bring this to the marketplace because I believe it will become the guide that will give you the kickstart that will enable you to light it up wherever you go. So if you say, Simon, I've lost the spark at home, in business, in life, and you or your friends are saying, you know what, I really want a prescription that is sustainable. And I believe as I share my stories, my pain of what I went through, that you're going to be equipped with tips, tools, and techniques on how you can be the spark. So listen, go to simontbailey.com, get the book, and remember, I love you and I believe in you, and there's not a darn thing you can do about it.
Okay, welcome back. Glad you are here. I told you before the break that the Income Acceleration Roadmap really is a visual diagram of my body of work. And just so that you understand, it's not just about me. I want to walk through each one of these areas so that you understand how I best serve my clients. And I also wanted to encourage and inspire you to look into these areas to make sure you're in the right place in each one. My very simple philosophy is productivity plus profitability equals sustainability. So look at that as an undercurrent for all of these areas that I'm going to be talking about. So the first area of the Income Acceleration Roadmap is very, very important. I mean, it's very, very important. It's the I charge for that mindset. And the thing that I want you to understand is this is so important. I mentioned it. And can we take the slide down for just a second? I mention it in both of my books. In the Business Beyond Limits book, which was my first book, that one, which was my first book. And the I charge for that mindset is so important that I wrote a whole book about it. And it is really something that I understand in a big way. The thing about the I charge for that mindset, and I'm not going to read the slide to you, but the thing about the I charge for that mindset is when you are, let me go back to it. There we go. When you are thinking of anything in your business, your mindset has to be at the very heart of every decision, every choice, every action, every activity. Everything you do in your business is contingent upon your mindset. I remember a couple of years ago, I was leading a program, and one of the people in the program was like, why are we spending so much time on mindset? My mindset is together. I'm doing everything I need to do. And I was like, just trust me, because you're going to understand why this is so important. And a couple of years later, she came back to me and said, you know, now I get it. You really do have to have a particular mindset when you want to do anything. If you want to create a team and start hiring people in, you got to have the right mindset. If you want to increase your fees or offer new programs, you got to have the right mindset. If you want to charge at a higher level for a high value program you're creating, then you got to have the right mindset. So mindset is so important. When you think of the I charge for that mindset, it really says, I have high value offerings that I want to bring to the marketplace, and I deserve to be compensated for that high value. Mindset is everything. It's a personal mantra for me. My story, I talk about my story in the Business Beyond Limits book, but I want to make sure you understand that when I talk about mindset is everything, I understand that no matter what else is going on in my business, if I'm struggling in any area, and I tell this to my clients too, if I'm struggling in any area, then what I know to work on is my mindset. I use this particular example a lot. Robin Sharma, who is a peak performance expert, says, if you want to raise your fees, focus on personal development. It's another way of saying mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. So if you find yourself struggling, I say go and get the tools that help you to elevate your mindset in a big way. The tools are things like journaling or affirmations. I post a nightly affirmation and people really love that. I almost stopped at the end of last year and I almost didn't continue. And I had a couple people that I reached out to and I said, what do you think about this? I'm thinking of stopping. And one person said, if it still serves you well, then continue to do it. But if it doesn't serve your purpose and what you want, then it's time for you to stop. And that was really, really great insight from someone who's receiving my affirmations on a regular basis, because I continued them and they just gotten juicier and saucier and so much better. And I love that. So mindset is everything is the first area that I work with my clients on. Other tools that you might use: meditation, visualization, prayer. I said journaling. I do adult coloring. I have an app on my phone called Happy Color that I use to color. Sometimes they're so intricate, they get stressful. And I know I need the bigger ones that don't have as many colors in it and not as much detail work. But you've got to find the tools that help you elevate your mindset. One of the tools that I really, really want to encourage you to do is, you got in this business, in your coaching business, because you had a passion for something. You got into your coaching business and became an entrepreneur because there was something driving and guiding you. Go back and look at that to see if it still exists for you. My big why, I'll talk about it later in the program, but my big why is my son. And, I always want to be the best example for him as a mom, right? When I started my business, he was a little fella. Right? He was like 10 years old. Right? And because he was so young, I knew that I had to create a life for us. And I needed to create an experience for him that he could model. He's since, as an adult, gotten certified as a life coach himself. He uses his life coaching differently than the way that I use mine. But I feel like that set an example for him that was important. Mindset is everything. Go back and look at what drives you, what motivates you. When I used to work in corporate America, I was a process manager for a telecommunications company who actually developed software for cellular services. And one of the things that I would do is, when people would send me emails and say, wow, you're a big help on this. I really appreciate how you showed up in this meeting to support my idea, whatever it was, I started printing those and clipping them. And remember the old days of having a physical day planner? Well, I had a tab in my physical day planner that was called my brag book. And so if you need accolades to remind you of what you're doing and how worthwhile it is, then create something like that for yourself. It can be a video that you watch. The last thing I'll say about mindset is everything and the tools that I like to use. I've been in this business for almost 22 years now. And the thing that I love about where I am is I can literally look back and listen or read a piece of content or look at something I've created. And it reminds me of how powerful I really am. It reminds me of how talented I am, how good I am for my clients. So between the brag book and the listening to my own stuff and consuming my own content, I always find a way back to having the right mindset. Okay. The last thing I'll say about the I charge for that mindset is this is very crucial when it comes to the fees that you set for your business. I remember talking to a client some years ago, and she was charging like $7 for a piece of content that she created. And I was kind of like, why are you doing it? And it wasn't selling. It wasn't selling. So I was like, why are you charging $7? What if money was no object and you could charge whatever you really wanted for it? And she immediately went up in her price for that and sold it right away. She increased her fees in all of her programs. And within a couple of days, she had 2 contracts valued at $3,000 each for a total of $6,000. I just got to tell you, mindset is everything. It's how you look at your fees, it's how you look at your value, it's how you look at your overall programs in a big way. So mindset is everything. And the I charge for that mindset is crucial when you are trying to create profitability, productivity, and sustainability in your business. So the second one is looking at one ideal client, just one. You're not here to serve the masses, and you shouldn't try to serve the masses. It is not your job to serve the masses. Yeah. And I say it that way because I want you to understand you've got to, I've heard people say niche down. I've heard people say you got to have a fairly narrow focus about who your ideal client is. And you've got to look at the commonalities around your groups of ideal client or your categories of ideal client. And here's what I mean. I serve coaches, I serve consultants, strategists, I serve emerging thought leaders, people who have a voice in the marketplace but don't know how to monetize it. So all of those are different categories of the same client that I serve, right? And once I got clear about who that was, and I teach my clients to do the same, once I got clear about who that was, for me, it became, what are the commonalities and what are the things that connect the categories? Well, they're all transformation experts. So that's kind of how I circle the wagons and bring them all together under the same umbrella as one ideal client. They're having challenges scaling, they're having challenges growing beyond where they are in terms of their annual revenues. There's some commonalities for those categories that I was able to bring together and again, pull under one umbrella and circle the wagons that way so that I could know exactly who they are. One core problem, they're all struggling with the same problem. They're trying to grow and scale. They've reached a plateau. They want to go beyond where they are. And then one comprehensive solution. And even though I'm talking about 7 different areas that I serve my clients in, clearly my clients truly need one comprehensive solution. They need help with their mindset, their marketing, their operations, and their sales. Those are the 4 primary areas that I work on. Everything else kind of falls under that. I incorporate those other 2 silos, 3 silos underneath those key areas. When I came to understand one ideal client, one core problem, and one comprehensive solution and how it worked for me, then I started to gain traction, because then you know where to go to be attractive to your most ideal clients. You know the right platforms, you understand the messaging that you're going to have. All of that is related to ideal client clarity and the power of one. Everything that I've talked about is related to one ideal client and the power of one, right? Ideal client clarity and the power of one. One ideal client, not 15, not 20. I looked at my statistics for the show earlier this week, and I thought it was really cool to see that I'm in the right place to connect with my ideal client. I saw the demographics, I saw the psychographics, I saw the platforms that they're on, and I'm hitting all of the right buttons, right? When it comes to the statistics for my show, because I'm clear on who my ideal client is, my one ideal client is. So if you're remotely fuzzy about who your one ideal client is, I recommend that you go and download a resource. It's no opt-in. You can download it directly from my site. Go to businessbeyondlimits.com. That's businessbeyondlimits.com, and go to freebies. If you hover over books and such, you'll see freebies, and you'll see a free workbook that you can use that will walk you through getting clear about your ideal client. Yes, it's that important that I give it away with no opt-in. Totally, totally important. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, the next area of the roadmap is business operations. I know most people get a little concerned when it comes to business operations, but in order to create the productivity, the profitability that you want that will ultimately lead to sustainability, you've got to identify those business operations that you need and want to improve. When you are working in effectiveness and efficiency, you are gaining traction. You're able to sort of have a freedom to gain traction to grow and scale your coaching business. If you're not looking at ways that you can finally continuously improve the processes in your business, then you're missing out on an opportunity to be productive and profitable. When I talk about business operations, I'm talking about repeatable processes. If there's something you're doing every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year, then it needs to be documented, right? You need to write down what the steps are. You need to write down who's doing what. All of that is part of understanding and documenting your repeatable processes. Then you can look at resources and systems to plug into that to create automation. When you have a well-defined, repeatable process, you can say, this isn't working, this is working, and you can tweak along the way until you can streamline it, plug it into a system that does the same thing automatically, and automate it in a way that serves you well in what you're doing. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll tell you more about the Income Acceleration Roadmap. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Tanya Smith, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment now so that you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Jody Krangle, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversations Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Sharita Sparrow, your world-class therapeutic art practitioner, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you can be notified when the next episode goes live.
Being a member of a business mastermind can lead to exponential growth in your coaching business and in your bottom line. But how do you know if the mastermind is right for you? The right mastermind offers an opportunity for you to discover new growth insights and proven business strategies while putting them into practice with the right tools to grow and scale your coaching business. The right mastermind connects you to other high-achieving coaches so you can partner and collaborate. The right mastermind guides your efforts to grow and scale your coaching business. In just a few days, I'm hosting an information call so you can discover how to reserve your seat in the Profitable Coaches Mastermind. You can get all the details at profitablecoachesmastermind.com. You're invited to join this group networking and strategy call, and it's absolutely free. And so is the mastermind. That's right, the Profitable Coaching Mastermind is a high-value complementary opportunity for you to discover how to grow your coaching business. It's also a hands-on workshop designed to offer strategy to scale your coaching business. It's also an activation session with implementation tools you can use to grow and scale your coaching business. That's right, the Profitable Coaching Mastermind is totally complimentary. So save your spot so you can discover how to join the mastermind. This is not a sales call. Nothing will be sold. There will be no selling. There will be no offer. It is an opportunity, so save your spot. This is your opportunity for a collaborative interview, and you get to ask questions and get answers. Hi, Income Acceleration Mentor WendyY Bailey here, and I'm so excited about the Profitable Coaches Mastermind. The information call is designed to give you a little bit more information about it and for you to sort of decide if it's the right time for you at this point. Remember, the information call is complimentary. And so is the Mastermind. I'm so excited about it because I got to tell you, I have pulled 3 key pieces out of my body of work. We're going to talk in the Mastermind about predictable coaching income. We're going to talk about business operations. And we're also going to talk about how you put your productivity into overdrive to create the sustainability in your coaching business. So be sure to sign up for the information call. I'm going to give you all the skinny when we meet. And I hope to see you in the Mastermind as well. See you then. Awesome. So thank you for joining me. If you're just joining me, welcome to the show. Thank you. Welcome back if you've been here with me the whole time. I've been talking about the income acceleration roadmap. And as a reminder, it is the key areas that I serve my clients in. I talked so far about the I charge for that mindset, because mindset is everything. I've talked a little bit about ideal client clarity and the power of one. I'm going to start getting into a little bit more detail about the next 3 categories, because I want you to understand that they are viable. They must be vital for you to be successful in creating the productivity and the profitability that you want in your coaching business. And ultimately that leads to sustainability as well. So let's come back to the slides. And when you come to number 3, I talked about this being business operations. So let's go to the next one. Let me go to the next one. Come on, slide, move. There we go. So number 4 is all about predictable coaching income. Now, this is a phrase that I've coined, predictable coaching income, because what happens is you're in the feast or famine way of working in your business. If you're not planning for predictable income, if your calendar isn't tied to your activities, whether it's marketing, selling, converting, enrolling, whatever it is, you are missing the mark in terms of having a true predictability for your income in your coaching business. I could have named it predictable coaching revenue. Either way, the point is you need to have a way to predict what kind of income you're going to make in your coaching business. Then you can plan everything, Then you can plan everything, right? No more feast or famine. Your plan is a timely tracking of your income and revenue goals with clarity and purpose. That's the beauty of what you're doing. Timely tracking your revenue goals and income goals with clarity and purpose. It's also about sort of estimating what your value is. When I work with my clients on this particular area of work, we look at their value and they get to actually assign a number to the value of each of their programs. That can be challenging because it's a shift in your mindset, right? That can be challenging because not everybody thinks of their content as high value, but you've got to think of the value you're bringing. As a transformation expert, I must say to you that you are in the business of really doing important work. You're changing people's lives. You're changing their workplaces. You're changing their mindset. You're changing their relationships. You're changing their business. Whatever type of coach you are, you're in the business of transforming people in every area, right? I remember I used to work for an IT/telecom corporation, a Fortune 500 company. And I left the company and I ran into one of the officers of the corporation. I guess about a year later, I ran into him at a conference we were both attending. And he was like, oh, hey, what you been up to? And I gave him my card and I said, this is what I'm doing. And he looked at my card and he got really, really serious. And he said, wow, this is really important. This is a lot. And, I walked away from the conversation. And what I realized was, as a coach, you're holding a lot of responsibility in what you do and how you serve your clients. It's not just transactional. I have clients, people who were clients who have really become my friends because we've grown and evolved into that kind of relationship, right? But we still talk about the important work we did together when we were coaching client, right? We're not in that space now. And if we ever move into that space, what I've discovered is You ask for permission to move into that space. You still honor and champion them as their coach. You still respect them and ask if it's okay to coach them at times. But as friends, it's a different kind of relationship. But that bond that you create is so easy to evolve into friendships. Again, I have several friends that used to be clients, and they become clients again, and I become clients of theirs. So I say all of that to say, because of that bond that you're creating, there's a huge responsibility you have. There's a huge accountability you have. And you can't discount that when you start looking at assessing and assigning value of what you offer through your coaching programs, products, and services. You've got to be aware of what that contribution is that you're making. Then you can assess and assign value. Then you can assess and assign the right fees that represent the kind of value you're creating. I'm not someone, as a mentor coach, I'm not someone who believes that you've got to charge high fees without there being some rational explanation for that. Just know that as a coach, you have a huge responsibility for transforming people's lives, businesses, workplaces, relationships, whatever it is, right? You have a huge responsibility and accountability, and that comes with high value because it's the gift that keeps on giving, right? The value you give them isn't something that they put on and take off like a piece of clothing. Once you really assess and assign value, when you give them that transformation, it's for good. It takes place and it stays with them. I have clients who come back to me on my social media platforms and say, I was thinking of you because I was in a situation where I wasn't quite sure what to charge, and I charge for that came to mind. That's my phrase. People know me because of that phrase. I charge for that, right? My clients are still recognizing the importance of that, the responsibility that gave them. They recognize the value of that long after we've worked together, So think about the value, think about how much you're charging. All of this goes into your predictable coaching income plan. All of it goes into it. The value, what type of service you offer. Then you can tie all of that to a calendar and do the predictability, from a calendar perspective. So you know how much money you're going to make during this month or how much money you're going to make during that month. And it helps keep you on an even keel, not in the feast or famine mode, right? But you've got to have somebody that's going to help you with that. And I'm your girl. I'm your girl to help you with that. So let's talk about the next one. The next one we're going to talk about is marketing and messaging. Everything that you do to attract clients to you is about visibility and marketing. And your messaging has to be really, really clear to attract your most ideal client specifically. Do you see how this is tying together? If you don't know who your one ideal client is, then how do you know what message to send to them? If you don't know who your one ideal client is, how do you know what platforms you're likely to connect with them on? If you don't know who your ideal client is, your one ideal client is, how do you know what challenges they're having and what they aspire to in their lives, in their workplaces, in their business? If you don't know who your one ideal client is, you're going to miss the mark on your messaging and your visibility. I tell the story, and I tell it so much you probably have already heard it. I never joined Snapchat. I don't even know if it's around anymore because I hear more about TikTok than I do Snapchat these days. But I never joined Snapchat because the demographics for them were outside of the scope for my one ideal client. You've got to be clear about who your one ideal client is so that you also go to the right platforms to attract those most ideal clients to you. Then your messaging has to be important because there's a different language that your 20-year-old client speaks, if that's who your ideal client is, than your 50-year-old client. There's a different kind of reference points that you get. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were singing a song that was from the 70s. And I said, how do you know that song? How old were you? And when I looked up, it was 76, and they happened to be born in 74. So it was like, wow, how did you know? How did you know that song? Most people, when they're born at 2 years old and the song comes on or whatever, they're not going to get the song. But we live in such a rich culture that it's been, it had been played to this person as a child growing up. They knew about these people. The other funny thing about that particular situation, the person I was talking to said they never knew that there were these twins in this group called the Whispers, right? If you don't know, look it up. They're twins. And they had just found out like 6 months ago that they were twins and not the same person. All of that is age references, right? When you are marketing and you're trying to get your visibility out to the right people, you've got to make sure that your language is the language of your most ideal clients' age, their culture, what their expectation is. I went to an event a couple of years ago and it was called the Black Millionaire Coach Live, Black Millionaire Coach Live. I always transpose the words. But when I went, I was so tickled that instead of the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, because it was for African American women, because it was for Black folks, we sang the Black national anthem to kick things off. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Your messaging has to be clear based on who your ideal client is. But if you don't know who your ideal client is, your messaging is going to be foggy. Your marketing efforts will be a little more challenging for you to look at, a little more challenging for you to deal with. Okay. So far I've talked about, I charge for that mindset. I've also talked about ideal client clarity and the power of one. I've also talked about business operations. That's your let me go back to this. That's your looking at your repeatable processes, documenting them, streamlining them, and automating them with systems. Then I talked about predictable coaching income. That's a way of planning what your profitability is going to look like on a month-by-month basis so that you can really watch and see your business grow and scale. And then, I just talked to you about marketing messaging because it permeates everything that you do, just like each one of these. It may sound like I work in a lot of areas, but they're all very interconnected. So that's so far for the Income Acceleration Roadmap. We're going to take our final break for today. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you about those last two silos. One of those is going to be really, really important. So we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Charvette Mitchell, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversations show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episodes go live.
Hi, I'm Tim Fitzpatrick, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Morgana Ray, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with WendyY Bailey. Please like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Awesome. Thank you so much and welcome back. We've been talking about the Income Acceleration Roadmap, and I want to give you the skinny on the last two areas that I work with my clients on. You know that I gave you a formula in the very beginning. If you know what it is, go ahead and type it below. I'll count to 3 for you to type it below. I gave you a formula that's really, really important to me. This is the part of the formula that will make all the difference in the world. Let me just say that I think I've seen many clients who are unmotivated for some reason. Maybe something's going on in their lives. I've seen clients who were really busy and they were focusing on the wrong things. And when we got together to talk about what the right things were for them to focus on, it created a shift in them and helped them gain traction in their business at the same time. The formula was productivity plus profitability equals sustainability. This is the productivity part of that formula. When you focus on income producing activities, and I see the formula is kind of already in this note. When you focus on income producing activities specifically or IPAs, then you're going to see a lot more traction than if you are focusing on all the other things that don't help you to be productive. And let me just say this. I've said it in a couple of episodes ago. I talked about income producing activities specifically, but there are certain things that are time wasters or energy drainers. And when you know what they are, you'll avoid them. I was talking to somebody the other day, a former client who's now a really good friend. And she said, I steer away from Facebook because when I look at Facebook, the next thing I know, an hour has passed and I'm still on Facebook. Yeah, that's a non-income producing activity when you approach it that way. You've got to have a reason to be productive on a particular platform. If you are web surfing, you need to give yourself a time limit around it. If you're just surfing for the sake of surfing. If you are looking for something or you are trying to engage, set aside a window of time where you can actually spend time engaging on social media. Don't make it an end all be all. And also, if it is not producing income for you, it is a non-income producing activity. Things that are income producing, I like to start there so that you can really think about it. Things that are income producing are things like speaking. What I'm doing now is an income producing activity. If you're teaching a webinar or workshop, if you're teaching some sort of training, it is an income producing activity. Okay. If you are learning, if you're training on something, it is an income producing activity because it's fine tuning your skills so that you can add more value to what you do to serve your clients. If you are training your team members, like if you've got to onboard them, I onboarded somebody just the other day on my team, and we spent about 20 minutes together so that he could do the job that I wanted him to do. And the cool thing about that is it was an income producing activity because it's going to help me to be more efficient that I can hand off to him. Okay. So think about your income producing activities, excuse me. And based on those income producing activities, you're going to see lots of opportunities to gain traction on your business because of the kinds of activities. If you missed the episode a couple of weeks ago, go back to episode, I think it's 160, and you'll see income producing activities for coaches. And I want you to watch that and you'll see me dig a little bit deeper on this. This is important because if you don't know your ideal client, if you haven't created a marketing message for your one ideal client, then your income producing activities may be more general, more broad, and less effective. So make sure that your income producing activities are bearing fruit for you. And the best way to do that is to ask yourself every time you're doing something in your business, is this an income producing activity, right? Taking calls from potential vendors who want to sell you something is a non-income producing activity, right? If you're answering the phone or texting every time it rings or alarms, it is a non-income producing activity. I know I'm stepping on some toes. Ouch. I'm sorry, but you need to hear this. I'm the coach to tell you that you've got to be working on the things that are right to produce income. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and you're not being as productive as you can be to gain the traction that will help you be profitable in your coaching business. So hear me well when I say this. Hear me well when I say this. Income producing activities are the secret sauce to make things happen. Okay. And then the final area that I work with my clients on, number 7, is profitable selling secrets. I am going to read this one because I think it's just powerful just the way that it is. The profitable selling secrets area that I work with my clients on guides you in communicating your selling with authenticity. It steps away from sleazy, slimy, pushy, or salesy way of selling and allows you to convert more business with rapport and connection. Authenticity, rapport, and connection must be at the heart of every selling moment you have. And selling doesn't have to be scary when you have an orchestrated approach to how you sell. When you have an orchestrated approach to how you sell, then it makes the sleazy, slimy, pushy, or salesy, it just kind of gets it completely out of the way. I am a sales coach as well as a business coach, so I understand the dynamics and the emotions associated with orchestrating the sale. And a lot of times I work with my clients on the mindset piece of it, because sales doesn't have to be sleazy, slimy, pushy, or salesy. Sales need to be about creating that bond of authenticity and then selling with rapport and connection. It's sort of like thinking of what you have to offer and understanding that you have a responsibility to share that with your one ideal client, because they really need you. And why would you withhold that really yummy thing that you offer from them when you have that responsibility, when they really need it from you? So selling has a lot to do with mindset. It has a lot to do with your personality and how you're bonding with your clients. There's so much around selling that is all about you being authentic and genuine, that if you miss it, you're going to miss out on opportunities to sell. The other aspect of sales is you've got to understand that orchestration piece. And I teach a lot of my clients that orchestration piece, because I'm telling you, if they miss the orchestration piece, they've missed the opportunity to overcome any objections that surface with ease and effortlessness. They've missed the opportunity to maintain that bond through the end of the sale, the closing of the sale, that transaction piece. They missed the opportunity to expand and grow and say something and do something that is going to yield the kind of results that they want, right? And based on that, it makes a world of difference. So I've told you guys about the income acceleration roadmap, and let me just go back to the first slide. This is the whole roadmap in essence, and I've just walked through all of the other ones, and I want to make sure that you understand this is a visual of how I can support you as a client. If you haven't already, go to profitablecoachesmastermind.com, profitablecoachesmastermind.com. You'll see it in the middle of your screen, right? You'll see it in the middle of your screen. So profitablecoachesmastermind.com. It'll direct you to a Calendly appointment, and you'll be booked into the networking and strategy call, where I will tell you more about the Coaches Mastermind. As a reminder, it is not a sales call. I'm not going to offer anything to you. This is for you to gather information, for us to get to know each other, and to see if the mastermind is something that is right for you at this time in your coaching business. So go to profitablecoachesmastermind.com and you'll see it there. I think that I've scheduled quite a few of those, but I want to make sure it's a good time for you. So I'm doing some on the weekends. I'm doing some during the week. So try to find a time that you can commit to, because I really do want to support and serve you in that in a big way. Thank you. In a big way. Coming up next week for the Profitable Coaching Conversation show, there are 2 episodes. One on Tuesday is with Millette Jones, and it's all about podcasting. She's a podcasting consultant, and she's also a 2024 Women's History Month honoree. So this episode, which previously aired a couple of years ago, we're bringing it back, and Millette is going to be talking about podcasting and how she got into the business of podcasting and what it has done for her and how she serves her clients. The Thursday episode is from Laura E. West. She's a lip reader. She's a certified lipsologist. And I love that she was able to read my lips and tell me more. You got to watch the episode to check it out. So that's Tuesday and Thursday of next week at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're catching the replay of this, be sure that you watch those 2 episodes as well, because there's always something insightful about those conversations I have with these awesome women that I interviewed. And in closing, I want to share the card that I have today. You can't see it, but I'll share the card with you. And it says, "It's amazing what we can do if we simply refuse to give up." I'm going to read it again. "It's amazing what we can do if we simply refuse to give up." It's from Octavia Butler, who was a science fiction writer, one of the first Black science fiction writers. I think it was her. So she really traversed a terrain that wasn't necessarily, what she expected, but she traversed it and pushed through to become a very well-known Black science fiction writer. So once again, the card reads, "It's amazing what we can do if we simply refuse to give up." I want to close with that. I want to thank you for being here today. I've enjoyed sharing this content around the Income Acceleration Roadmap with you. As a reminder, the after party, you can catch the after party at profitablecoachingsociety.com. That's profitablecoachingsociety.com. And, again, be sure that you check out the Mastermind, profitablecoachesmastermind.com. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time with another amazing episode. Thanks so much for being here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from WendyY and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.